Welcome to AI Pulse Daily, where every day we step closer to understanding how artificial intelligence is transforming our world. Today we confront one of the most urgent questions of our time, the ethics of AI. Who decides what's right and wrong? Who programs machines with moral values? And what happens when those values collide? Our artificial intelligence is increasingly involved in decisions that matter. Who receives a loan? Whose risk is calculated in a health system? Which candidate gets a job? How a self-driving car reacts in a split second. These machines are not just tools anymore, they're participants in ethical choice. Yet, unlike humans, AI doesn't live through life, form values or feel empathy. Instead, it inherits the data, the algorithms, and the biases of its creators. Major international bodies have recognized this challenge. For instance, UNESCO issued its recommendation on the ethics of artificial intelligence in 2021. Setting out principles, respect for human rights, fairness, transparency, human oversight. UNESCO dos cosas, a más dos, bet. Principles alone don't decide the specifics of morality in machines. The real battle is in the details. Because behind every algorithm is a choice, what to optimize, what to ignore, whose data to use. When we train a model on historical data, we embed the biases of that history, as one study pointed out, humans rated AI responses as more moral than human ones in certain tasks, raising the chilling possibility of over-trusting machines in moral roles. Georgia State News Hub, or consider a recent investigation showing how an autonomous system's guidance influenced human decisions in morally challenging scenarios and diluted people's sense of responsibility, nature. Well, when we ask who decides its morals, we're really asking, who decides the data, the objectives, the trade-offs? Corporations, governments, engineers, all stake a claim. But each comes with its own values, incentives, and blind spots. A system, optimized purely for profit, may ignore fairness. One optimized for safety may sacrifice autonomy. Ethical frameworks exist, but global alignment remains elusive. Coursera +1. We also need to ask, can ethics be coded? What happens when a self-driving vehicle must choose between two lives? The famous moral machine dilemmas show that human preferences vary by culture, context, and time. Wikipedia +1. When AI must act globally, should it adopt a universal moral code or adapt to local norms? The complexity deepens when we realize that machines reflect not only values but power structures. Another layer, accountability and transparency. If an AI system makes a harmful decision, who is responsible? The designer, the operator, the data provider. Ethical AI demands human oversight, explainability, traceability. The UNESCO recommendation emphasizes that AI systems should not displace ultimate human responsibility. UNESCO, but in practice, present transparency is limited. Oversight is inconsistent, and many systems operate in the dark. Let's turn to real-world implications. In hiring AI systems, screening candidates may replicate gender or racial bias if trained on biased historical hiring data. Harvard News +1 in healthcare AI may prioritize treatment for certain demographics due to skewed training data. In policing, predictive systems can amplify systemic injustice. If we ask who writes the moral code, we risk machines that reinforce inequality rather than correct it. Yet this isn't a purely dystopian story. Ethical AI frameworks are rising. Governments and firms are launching audits, impact assessments, guidelines. Civil society groups push for inclusive design. The question is not only about controlling AI, but about shaping it to reflect shared human values. Fairness, dignity, freedom, respect. Ethics becomes not just a constraint, but an enabler of beneficial technology. In essence, the question who decides its morals comes down to a collective choice. It's not enough to say machines should be fair. We must ask, fair to whom? Who gets to define the trade-offs? Who is included in that decision-making? Building ethical AI is a societal project, not just a technical one. As AI permeates every corner of our lives, the choices made today about values will ripple into the future. These systems we build will shape not only how machines behave, but how we behave. The unresolved question lingers. Will we remain the authors of our machines, or will we become the code in theirs? Thank you for watching AI Pulse Daily. If you found this episode thought-provoking, like, share, and subscribe. Join us next time as we explore another frontier of artificial intelligence and what it means for our world. Until then, stay aware, stay ethical, and keep your pulse on AI.